proud members of the Fan First Sports Network.
He's gonna go! It's time, people, feel it!
Big Red Junkies.
Day by day, he gets better and better! Team is MVP!
If we die, we die!
Man, put a child in that, put him in the aisle!
Bring that trophy back to Lincoln!
Portal Talk, boys. It's Portal Talk.
Christmas, motherfuckers.
It feels like Christmas a little bit. The last couple days, this is Monday morning, roughly 11 a.m., and we got some good announcements over the weekend.
Yeah, we did.
I think it's interesting to see the shift. At least it feels like a shift in idea of what Rhule was looking for in the portal previously, or at least the way that they were playing the portal in previous years, going to get a guy from like Wake Forest, going to get guys from, the more mid-level schools, mid-tier guys like that. I mean, yeah, we did bring in Jacob Hood and MJ Sherman from Georgia, but those were more cast-off Georgia players. This Justin Rhett that we got on Saturday, he's not a cast-off guy. He was on there 2 deep.
Mm-hmm.
He's on there 2 deep behind 2 All-American dudes that are going to be probably first-round draft picks.
Yep.
He had a good chance at seeing some serious field time next year.
Oh, I think he still does.
Well, coming to Nebraska, yeah.
Wearing a different red.
Wearing a slightly different color red, yeah. But Rhule seems like he's big game hunting this year. At least with some of these guys to me.
It's kind of funny that you say it that way because I got asked this question at work if I thought that they were going after too many small school guys because they're not getting the big guys. But you look at this list of players and where they're all coming from, and it's all
Georgia,
big boy
Oklahoma.
programs. Yeah. And maybe Purdue's not a big boy program, but they're in the Big Ten. So, yes, they're a big boy program.
You're also bringing in a Big Ten quarterback that to back up Dylan Rhule. Most people expected us to be getting another Jalen Gramstad type, like he has no intention of actually playing. He's going to be a coach one day type situation. The fact that we went out and got a real guy who's going to come in here and still continue to push Dylan and compete with Dylan, that's incredible as fuck, in my opinion.
Yep.
Even if he's only here for 1 year developmentally behind Dylan and then he goes off somewhere else.
Whatever.
We can trade out guys like that are actually going to be an effective piece if they get in the game.
Yeah.
We would have been fucked this year if Jalen Granstad had to come in and play quarterback for us. Mostly just because he couldn't see over our linemen, but other than that.
Yeah, they don't let you put a step stool on the field.
Yeah. But I mean, you look at the ad of Williams Nwaneri, which I get it. There's going to be more of this happening down the road with these teams that narrowly miss out in a recruitment process like we did with him last year, where it's going to be that relationship still sitting there. They've seen the writing on the wall at their current spot. It didn't, the promises weren't fulfilled or whatever it might be. They weren't happy with where they went the first year. Kind of like what we talked about when we lost out on Dylan Rhule going to Georgia. We all figured he was gone, but hey, maybe he'll still come to Nebraska down the road if he doesn't get on the field at Georgia. It's kind of what happened with Williams Nwaneri.
It's also maybe, and I'm not trying to say fans have the biggest impact or whatever, but when a guy says he's going to go somewhere else, maybe don't shit on him.
Don't shit on him.
Maybe just say good luck. Hope to see you in the future, type stuff.
Yeah.
And you keep
It's a learning curve for everybody.
I get it, but
you're spot on when you say that, because I think that our fans, especially on Twitter right now, they're still playing a role in this recruitment process. Yeah. When a guy like, what's his name? The dude that Nziah Hunter, the wide receiver from Cal, he was like, oh my God, I can't believe my Instagram blew up. He had like 900 followers on Instagram, and in 48 hours, he went to 5,000. Well, welcome to Nebraska, big boy. Like, you're going to get followers. You're an instant celebrity when you decide to sign on and come in here. Like, you're going to play like that.
Yep. Especially coming from Cal. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah, the fans are going to care about you a lot more here.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a somebody if you walk on campus here, even if you never play.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the same time, we are losing some guys. This is what Rhule warned us about, though. There's going to be dudes that are going to hurt when they leave. seeing Prince Will go off to Ole Miss, that hurt some people.
Yep.
Jamari Butler leaving, we've already kind of talked about that one. That kind of shocked some people. But like we said, we needed some of that senior class, that the boogeyman guys to kind of get out of here.
Forfeiture to A&M sucks.
Yeah.
Forfeiture to A&M sucks, but at the same time, you're moving a guy who Rhule describes as one of the most freak athletes that he's ever coached into that tight end room. Alongside of, it's very obvious that Lindenmeyer is kind of a fan favorite for Dana. And then you also add the fact that they're moving Carter Nelson officially back from wide receiver to tight end. The room was getting pretty freaking crowded.
Yeah.
Especially since now it's known, finally, it was acknowledged by Dana in the bowl game press conference, Fidone's not going anywhere. And he's playing like his life's on the line in practice.
You should be.
Yeah, well, yeah, he should be, because there's more freak athletes in that room now than him. Is there anybody else that's been kind of a surprise for you guys, or a surprise positive or negative coming in?
You know, obviously the Dowdell news came as a shock to a lot of people. I don't know how well he really fits into the offense of Dana Holgorsen, but at the same time, every single offense needs a hammer.
That's
like,
but I think
he
that's
will fit
all he
into
was
every
going to be.
offense. Yeah.
I think that's all he was going to be, was a short yardage goal line guy. He was probably going to wind up with another 10 or 12 touchdowns next year, but the touches were going to go way down from what he saw this year. He was not going to be the starter anymore. And it doesn't even matter if that's not Emmett Johnson. We very well still could have somebody else starting at running back. It wasn't going to be Dowdell, because he doesn't fit what Dana does with a running back.
Yeah. But at the same time, I kind of, again, the whole learning curve thing that you talked about earlier, I'm done being surprised by anybody getting in the portal. Because number one, everybody's got to get down to 105. And number two, that's just the world we live in now. Yeah. So to be shocked by anybody jumping in the portal for any reason whatsoever, it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Again, good luck. You know, see you.
And like you said before we started, he got a better money deal.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's it. Rhule said as much in his press conference. Hey, he was not looking to leave. He was not disgruntled. You know, Dowdell will always be a player of mine, regardless of where he winds up and how things go there. He got a better offer. Yeah. We weren't going to match it. He had to go. Like, that's a business decision at that moment. And I think having NFL experience in the background that he has with dealing with contracts and things like that from it's a business standpoint, is probably a tremendous help with not just with Rhule, but with John Butler, with the NFL acumen that this staff now has on it. It's probably more of a shock for Dana Holgorsen than it is for any of the rest of the guys.
Yeah. But when you're talking about a potential for an extra hundreds of thousands of dollars, you make that decision pretty easy.
Well, my assumption is that they also had dollar amounts assigned to the majority of the players coming out of the Iowa game, and it was, hey, this is where you are. We totally get it if you have to go test your market or if you have to go see what else is out there. This is going to be the type of money that we can offer you. Yeah. And I'm sure that, you know, for a Dowdell or for a Borkature, they probably went back to him and were like, hey, this is the type of money I'm getting. Is there anything better we can do? Because these guys all have agents now or representatives of some sort. Yep. And there was probably a conversation, but the conversation was probably like, hey, man, look, we wish you the very best, but this is what we can offer you. And that's what your value is on our roster. That doesn't mean you're not more valuable to somebody else. And when there is a roster cap now, you can't just flood the team with these guys that aren't probably going to be your frontline guys. Yeah. And Kentucky's losing everybody, so Dowdell,
he's definitely going to play
very
there.
well could be playing defensive line. Who knows?
Well, and again, everybody's losing everybody, but yes, I agree.
I just feel like Kentucky's getting raided right now.
Yes.
I will say one other thing, just because I know you liked the kid. I think Danny Kalen's going to do just fine at Virginia. He went somewhere he was going to get to play. So
I was kind of surprised by that, because Virginia is one of those schools that has they must have changed a lot of their rules, but Virginia is one of those schools, a lot like a Stanford and stuff like that, that they don't really allow transfers, and I mean academically, not necessarily. So,
really?
Like, to get in there as a transfer is like next to impossible, or at least it was. So, like I said, maybe they've adjusted a lot of their rules to be in order to compete.
He's really smart,
because otherwise you can't compete. Like if you don't accept transfer, you can't compete.
He might have had an offer from them before he came to Nebraska.
Maybe.
Like, He might have had the grades.
And
for
again,
it,
I'm
is my
talking
point.
academically, not athletically. But yeah,
Well, we've all lamented about how bright of a kid he is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm sure his grades were right where they needed to be for that transfer.
Yeah.
That's all we've got on that updates wise. We'll probably do another like full blown portal show after the bowl game, but we'll be getting our bowl preview out here shortly.
To enter the portal ends the day of the Pinstripe Bowl. So after we get done with our season, I'll bet you that will kick back up again as far as bringing guys in.
Yeah. Sure. Well, but they can also still end, or they can also still come in because you
can come in anytime. I'm talking about guys leaving.
I was gonna say,
it closes on the 28th.
Gotcha. And then it opens again after spring, right?
Yes.
Like
it's like 2
in
weeks
April
after,
or some shit like
2
that.
weeks after spring, yeah.
It'll be interesting, man. Well, it'll also be interesting to see because in April is when the whole revenue sharing thing is supposed to go into effect, and we're actually going to be able to see what essentially a salary cap looks like on these teams.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. But we'll do our best to keep you informed and up to date. We're not a breaking news show by any means.
No.
So don't come to us for the breaking news, but we'll try and give you our best opinions on how things are going.
And this may be the most unbelievable night in Cornhusker football history.